So I was profiting it in all the other videos that I would expect an attack of the Greek guy. And finally he showed up with, right now you only see 3 units, but I can tell you he has a really large army still in the shadow. We will see it very soon. And I think I got a pretty good defensive line. The only city he can really attack is my capital, and somehow he had to press all his units throughout this small corridor. You see there is a small lake on the right and mountains to the left, and also the little rivers, they were very helpful because he always needs one additional turn to cross a river, so he couldn't really invade me but slowly march forward, and with the help of my archers I could pretty much push him back really successfully. So right now I will what I will do now is um, I won't show every turn in full. I think it's a bit boring to see how I select the units, how I order the workers, but instead I will show all the combat relevant turns and all the combat relevant actions. So let's start. So what you just saw here is I wasn't really prepared, so I upgraded my archers into the next tier. So now I think they are crossbowmen, a bit stronger and actually comparable in strength to the units the Greek is sending towards me. And if you see the movements of my enemy, they are really strange. Sometimes he moves forward, sometimes backward, and I think the artificial intelligence has really problems to press through this corridor with all the with all the hills and the lake and the river. So I was really happy about that. When I started the game I really didn't think that this position would be so good. I mean, I was happy about the 3 tiles of salt, but I didn't think that the city would be like hard to attack. But it turns out the artificial intelligence really has problems to find a good opening on the city. As you see, I already killed some units. Still he sends more masses, and I mean most of the units you see here are the special unit of the Greek guy. I think they called phalanx or something like that. But here you also see the first swordmans, and actually his swordmans are stronger than any unit I got right now. So I'm not sure if I would say they are slightly a tier over the composite bowmans I got, but still he failed to really do a good move on my city. I mean, he just by the masses he could just surround my city and just kill it, but the AI in this game, it's not really super intelligent. So of course if it was super intelligent you would have no chance, but the AI has just unfair advantages, so like endless gold, higher production, stuff like that. So by this he can just, so to say, counter his lack of intelligence just by the unfair advantages. And in most of my games when I play on this level of difficulty, after like 100 turns the enemy comes with his huge army, stands in front of your door, and he kills you in 2 turns. But since I think I delayed the Greek a bit in the start, so I had enough time to build up a bit and to at least buy some archers, some composite bowmans. And now, as you see here, I can quite successfully defend against him. But once again I would like to point out the scoreboard, and you see currently I'm the ranked 1 guy and the Greek one is the second last. So even though he is really behind in points in the scoreboard, he still has the capacity to create a huge army, to push units non-stop, and that's really a bit worrying because what will I have to face when I fight for instance, the English guy? And actually, the English civilization is the one I'm most afraid at the moment, because she's nearly on par with me. I think she has like no world wonders. So where does her high score come from? Um, so it's really worrying that she can keep up with me in the scoreboard. And sure as hell, she has a huge military power. So if she would declare war on me, the game would be over in an instant. As you see here now, I have a little barbarian in the top who comes to my help. Well, actually he destroyed one of my tiles, but I'm fine with that. Throughout this whole, let's call it war, I didn't lose any combat units. Instead, it was really great for my combat units because they gained some levels. Later on, I think one of my archers even gets an upgrade for increased range, so that's a huge upgrade, because with that upgrade the archer can attack enemy cities without the danger that they can retaliate, because he can attack over 3 tiles like an artillery then. But I mean, it's not like this war that I only benefited by this war, because as you see, the Greek guy destroyed some of my tiles, not really a big problem, but I think he destroyed once again 2 caravans, and if you think about it, losing 1 caravan is equal to losing 1000 gold. So I don't know, I'm not really happy about that. And in general, if you have a war going on, usually as a player your focus is mainly on the war itself, and I kinda lost track on expanding and doing stuff like that. I had to buy units, I couldn't buy more settlers, and like I said, I talked about the English civilization before. While I'm doing here my little war, they just use the time to push their own advantages. And since nothing aside from this war is occurring at the moment, I will speed up things a bit more. So here we go. So as you see, everything went okay for me. The Greek guy, I pretty much could defend against him. He still didn't surrender, but it's alright. But right there something really bad happens, because I lost the Machu Picchu, the world wonder, to another player. I started it in my Petra city, and now I had to stop it. And this is like the first really good world wonder I'm losing. And you see the enemies get stronger and I really lose scrap, I lose my lead and technology, and it's really worrying. Okay, so aside from that, the English lady I was talking about before, she contacted all the civilizations, so now diplomacy gets a more important factor in this game, and the World Congress gathered. Um, so within this World Congress you can bring suggestions, and you have to be careful with the suggestions, because you can anger other civilizations with your proposals. So my proposal was that I want additional culture for world wonders, and usually after you choose a trade, all the civilizations contact you, especially those ones who really don't like your suggestion, and they threaten you that your suggestion was bad. And here you go, you see Gandhi, he didn't like it. Okay, she just wants to trade. I think this guy also just wants to trade. I cut this guy out too quickly, but he also complained, so you see not everyone was happy about my suggestion. And well, here you see the lady now I was talking about. She's the English girl. You see how much income she has per turn. So at the moment she clearly is the biggest threat of all. She's the one who can easily coast me the win in this game. So since the Greek guy still didn't surrender, my idea was to send some archers top and to destroy some of his units. So he was very stubborn, still didn't want to surrender. But I think it was just a question of time. So I already now had the technology for crossbowmen. I upgraded, just kept doing what I was doing. In the meantime, I finished the Sistine Chapel. Very happy that I got it. Like I said before, one of the strongest world wonders. And I kept pushing, marching north. Here you see I get the range upgrade for one of my crossbowmen. Really good upgrade. I would say the best upgrade you can get. And now here I got the next culture upgrade. So I was stuck between choosing religion, rationalism or aesthetics. In the end I decided for aesthetics, because if you invest some points in aesthetics you get plus 30% culture output in cities with world wonders. And since I got at least 2 cities with world wonders, I really think it's a strong trade. So here we go. Okay, and like I said, I marched forward and finally Alexander decided to submit, and he offered me some nice rewards for the peace treaty. I could have bargained a bit more, but in the end I'm happy with what I got.